Well, holy shit. The Koogs podcast? Is this real life? You guys are actually clicking on a video on this channel or clicking on a podcast on iTunes or whatever, wherever you're listening to it, and it's actually a new episode. That is kind of crazy. I didn't know if it would ever be back. I always wanted it to come back. I always wanted to bring it to the spotlight again because podcasts are some of my favorite forms of media to consume, and I always want to have my own. And I started it last year. I got a little bit distracted once, baseball season kind of came around and things started ramping up for my channel. I got a little overwhelmed with that, so I didn't really want to focus too much on a side project like this podcast. But this year I'm going to try to change that. I'm going to try to make the Koogs podcast a much more consistent thing throughout the year. If you guys didn't listen to it last year when I had it going on for a little bit, basically it's a podcast where I just kind of talk about anything I want to talk about, any events that are going on in the news, anything in pop culture, whatever. I just talk about what I want to talk about. Not really going to be talking about anything baseball related too much or MLB The Show. If there's, an event that goes on in baseball that I kind of want to touch on, then I'll talk about it. But this isn't a baseball, sports, gaming type of podcast like that. So if that's the content you're looking for from me, then I would just stay over on my normal YouTube channel. But if you want to listen to the podcast while you're doing other things and just kind of hear me talk about anything else, then this is the place to be. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe, you know what to do there. If you're listening to it on iTunes or SoundCloud or whatever, just leave whatever rating is appropriate for the site that you're on, however you're consuming it. I would really appreciate it. It would help me out and help this podcast grow a little bit. So yeah, that's what we got. Also, as you could tell by probably the first thing I said, this podcast is not really as family-friendly as my normal YouTube channel. That doesn't mean it's completely vulgar or anything like that. It's just I try to be a little bit more raw, a little bit more unfiltered on this podcast than I am normally on YouTube. If you watch my Twitch streams, it's a lot more like that. I'm a lot more animated over on Twitch just because I don't really hold myself back over there, whereas YouTube you kind of have to maintain that image of family friendly or you get what I'm saying. So if that's not really your cup of tea from me, then I would recommend clicking off this now because there's probably going to be some language drop that you might not agree with. And yeah, man, it's weird that I'm sitting here doing this again because I remember when I recorded the first episode of the podcast, it was so awkward and I was so hard on myself. I was sitting there listening to it. And I'm like, this is garbage. This is garbage. I'm pretty sure I recorded it multiple times. And this time around, I'm just not even going to do that. I'm just going to literally talk, let it loose. Like I said, this is supposed to be raw. It's supposed to be unfiltered. It's just supposed to be me speaking my mind, kind of, I guess, venting a little bit. And just kind of letting my thoughts out there, because I have a bad habit of letting things just sit in my brain and not really let my thoughts out. And then when I do let it out, it's just like a fucking waterfall. And I just don't really want to do that. So I'm going to use this as a way to kind of at least partially get thoughts out of my head out into the world sort of thing. So yeah, this will also be a good way for people to, for anybody who's a follower of mine that, wants to keep up with what I'm doing. This is a good way to kind of know where I'm at mentally with certain things, because you might not always be able to tell when I'm just making a normal video or anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much what this podcast is all about. Every now and then I will have guests on. I've already got a couple guests lined up that said they would be down to join me on episodes. But if there's not a guest, you'll just hear me like normal. Sometimes there will be video. So if I'm in an opportunity where I can record with a guest like live, like at a specific location, I'll try to bring a camera and everything and just have it as a normal video. That probably won't happen too much, but if it does, just keep that in mind. So if you're watching it on YouTube, you might be surprised with a video podcast every now and then. As far as the schedule, I don't know what day this podcast or this episode will be going live. It might be going live in like the middle of the week. It might be going live on the weekend. I don't actually know yet. So whatever day that this goes live, that's probably the day I'll stick to when I post. So if I post this on Friday, then it'll probably come out every Friday or something like that. So just keep that in mind. I'll have a little bit more definitive or a bit more of a definitive schedule when it actually gets set up. So yeah, I think I said it should be on all the other platforms like iTunes, SoundCloud, all that shit. I've been talking about this for 5 minutes now, so I should probably just get into what I want to talk about. So basically, all I really want to talk about today is just keeping it simple. I know we're already about a week and a half to 2 weeks into the new year, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my New Year's resolutions, kind of things that I want to accomplish in 2019. And I don't normally mind people making New Year's resolutions, but I also don't really agree all the time with waiting to start on a New Year's resolution. Like if your New Year's resolution is to get in the gym or get in shape or eat better or something like that, you don't really need to wait till January 1st to do that. You can just start then, and then by the New Year's day, you're already, a couple days to a week into your goal. Like that's something you don't necessarily need to wait on. So I never really understood that. I think starting it off on a kind of like a procrastination sort of foot is already setting yourself up to fail. But there are some people that do stay consistent with it, and they do stay true to their resolutions. And to those people, I respect them. I applaud them. And for me, something like that, New Year's resolutions, I don't normally make a ton of them, especially with YouTube, man. YouTube is such a weird place. Like your channel could be done within a week if you're not doing the right things. So I don't really care too much about what my numbers are. Like I know a bunch of people are like, oh, I'm gonna hit 100,000 subscribers this year. I'm gonna hit, 1 million views in a month. All this type of stuff. And I'm just like, dude, I don't really care as long as I can, still keep YouTube as my main job and make the money I need to make every month. Like that, that's all I care about, dude. I really don't care about what my view count or subscriber count is. Like, yeah, it would be cool to have, a 6-digit subscriber count and be cool to hit 100K, but is that gonna happen? I don't know. Am I gonna be disappointed if it doesn't? No. As long as I can still pay the bills and live comfortably and, be my own boss sort of thing, that's all I care about. So YouTube for me, no, I don't really have a goal there or a resolution other than just kind of maybe expand my content a little bit. Don't just do baseball gaming every single day. Maybe, throw in a little bit more IRL stuff or talk about more baseball teams doing things, just basic things to kind of switch it up from MLB The Show and what I've pretty much done in 2018. Not saying 2018 was a bad year. I mean, it was actually my best year on YouTube ever. But I don't really want to, I do want to be able to, challenge myself creatively a little bit more than what I was doing in 2018. So yeah, that's kind of the goal I have there. But as far as like my legit New Year's resolution, it's going to sound a little corny when I actually say it, but it's the same resolution that I've been using for years now, pretty much ever since the start of 2016. I actually made a YouTube video about this. You can still go back on my channel and watch it. Every now and then I'll go see it and just be like, wow, like this still is relevant. Like I said, it's going to sound corny. I know you guys are going to fucking roast me for it, but my New Year's resolution every year is just to be happy, because I've been very unhappy at times. I've let a lot of different things affect how I feel and affect my happiness. And at the end of the day, happiness should just come from within yourself. It shouldn't be, based on how another person feels about you or how, it shouldn't be coming from an outside source. Your happiness should come from within. Like, yeah, your friends and your family and a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whoever can help amplify that feeling of happiness when they're there. But at the end of the day, your happiness should come from within you. And that is something that I used to struggle with a lot. And, over the past couple of years, I've really, it's gotten better to the point where I can be happy with myself. There are still certain things about myself that I don't like, that I wish could be different, and that I wish I could change. And, I make efforts to do that, to change things and try to make myself better. But at the end of the day, it's not always the easiest thing to do. So yeah, that's my resolution, is just to be happy. Another reason is just because I have a really, really bad problem with anxiety. It's not bad to the point where it like really affects my everyday life, but I will get anxious over very, very like just the smallest things. I will get really uptight about certain things, and normally with my anxiety and the things that I stress about, in the past, it was all about relationships. I would always stress about a girl that I liked, or I'd always stress about, one of my friends being mad at me for something, like just those type of relationship problems were the biggest, sources of anxiety and stress for me. And then this last year, I really don't know what changed. Maybe it was because, YouTube was going really well and I was so caught up in everything, but it kind of changed for me. Like, I got really, really stressed over view counts and subscribers and money and just the whole back end of YouTube and the egotistical, narcissistic side of YouTube. And it really, I got a lot of anxiety over it. There was a lot of things that were being thrown at me at a certain point last year. And I really had trouble focusing and handling it all. And, it was just a really, really weird shift, because it wasn't necessarily relationship issues that were, causing me to stress. It was everything that I normally didn't stress about, and then it just amplified the normal stress that I would have. So anxiety is honestly it's a bitch, dude. I hate it so much. Even on Christmas Eve, like I have anxiety attacks regularly. They've been a little bit better during the winter. Like the past couple months, they haven't been that common. But on Christmas Eve, man, I had a really bad one. And it was because of the dumbest fucking thing, dude. It was the stupidest reason. I'm sitting there. We have a Christmas Eve family party every year at our house. My mom, she hosts it here. And, our entire family comes, and my mom and my sister and my aunt are all in the kitchen, working on making the dinner and making the turkey and whatever else we eat for, Christmas. And I go in there to help them, and they said, all right, we'll give you an easy job, because, I'm not the fucking guru in the kitchen like they are. So my job was literally to take the crescent rolls, for like the Pillsbury like crescent rolls, out of the little tin and roll them out onto the baking sheet and put them in the oven. Pretty simple job, right? I don't have to make anything. All I have to do is take the dough out and roll it into a crescent and put it on the baking sheet. That's it. It's a very simple job. Shouldn't require a lot of thinking. Shouldn't require a ton of effort. And there were a couple tins, and I get started. I start opening them up, and I don't know if like they weren't like put in the fridge, or I don't even know how it works, but like the dough was really soft, so it was really hard to peel, and it was kind of like, I don't know, it was just getting in really weird shapes and stuff, and I was having a lot of trouble just rolling the damn dough into a crescent roll, and it was pissing me off. I was like, dude, why is this so difficult? This shouldn't be this hard. And I started to, over the next few minutes, I started to just kind of be like, these look horrible. What the fuck? Why am I messing this up so much? Why am I failing at this? And I start thinking in my head, everybody in the family is going to see this basket of rolls and be like, yo, what the fuck happened here? And, I just start, my mind just like, yo, you suck at this. And then it starts telling me, you suck at this, you suck at that, you suck at everything else. And then I just start kind of, getting really worked up. And I literally just, I stopped and I went outside and I just had a fucking breakdown, dude. Like, I don't get why little tiny things that should have no effect on how I'm feeling about other things gets to that point, dude. It's so weird. And one of the reasons I think anxiety bugs me so much, or why it bothers me so much, is because I really in my life like to have a lot of control. Like, I don't normally leave my comfort zone too much. I will explore new things every now and then, but for the most part, I'm pretty set in my ways. I'm a homebody because I feel like I have a lot of control over things. Anxiety is something that I absolutely can't control, and I can't wrap my head around the fact that I can't fucking control when I feel a certain way. And it just makes me so triggered. Like, part of me wants to be like, yo, you can control when you have anxiety attacks, just breathe. But then when the anxiety attack is happening, it's just like, oh no, you're not gonna fucking breathe. Fuck you, you loser. And I'm losing my mind, and I can't control it. Like, everything in my life I can control. I have my own job. I don't answer to anybody. I set my own hours. I wake up when I want. Whenever my friends want to do something, I don't really have an excuse to say no, because I work for myself and I have all the time in the world to do what I need to do. Like, everything in my life I have control over, But anxiety and that shit, the way I feel, I can't control, and it just, it gets me fucking tilted, dude. So anxiety has always been a bitch for me. I really want to work on that this year. I don't take anything for my anxiety. I don't take any medicine or anything like that. I just kind of let it ride. Sometimes when I'm like having trouble sleeping at night, I'll take melatonin or something to kind of, it's like a relaxer that helps you, kind of fall asleep. So it's not really a sleeping pill, but it's, it's just kind of a relaxer. And that has helped in the past, but it's not really something I want to rely on every night to help me fall asleep. So yeah, man, in 2019, I really just want to work on my anxiety and work on myself and just kind of make sure that I still can do everything I need to do. Even if I have that anxiety, I just want to make sure that it's not going to affect things in my day-to-day life and shit like that, because I got some really, really cool opportunities this year. I know I'm talking a bunch about, my YouTube career, it's been so good to me and shit. But when you have opportunities like I had, like I got to go to the All-Star game, I got to go to a couple National League Championship Series games, I got to go to a World Series game and sit in a fucking suite. Like the coolest shit happened to me this year. But for some reason, I got way more stressed this year than any other year. And it's just, I don't know, man. It got really, really triggering at one point in the year, and I don't know, man. It's just definitely something that I'm trying to work on. It's definitely something in 2019 I want to attack and kind of handle in a better way. So that kind of goes with my New Year's resolution of being happy. Going to the gym also has kind of helped with that. I've been really, really trying to do better about maintaining better physical fitness and physical health, as well as my normal mental health. And that's always kind of a nice little getaway, go to the gym for an hour and a half. So I want to make sure I keep that up in 2019 as well. Although right now, man, going to the gym sucks, and it's not because of anything physical. Like, going to the gym and working out is fine once you're there, but going to the gym and then in January, when everybody and their mother has a New Year's resolution of getting healthier, they're all at the gym, dude. You can go at 9 o'clock p.m., 9 to 11, any time between then, and it's just popping on a weekday. It's like, dude, you weren't in here 2 weeks ago. Now you want to be like, at the end of the day, it's a good thing that more people are in the gym. Don't get me wrong. It's a good thing that people are taking the step and getting, and challenging themselves and trying to better themselves and everything. That's great. That's awesome. But like, dog, I'm trying to do fucking, squats right here, and, you're figuring out how to move the bar. I'm like, can I just get my set? Like, I hate so many people being in the gym. It just sucks. So I'm honestly thinking about just kind of focusing a lot on running this month. And then when the people start to like thin out and people start forgetting their New Year's resolutions, maybe I'll head back. But I don't know. We'll see. I just kind of want to. Just having that many people in the gym and like having all these people look at me when I'm doing stuff and waiting, it's another thing that I don't want to think about. So yeah, I hope that ends soon, man. I hope some people start to drop out of the gym so it becomes less crowded at night, because I like to go at night. I like to go at like 11 or 12 and get it done before I go to bed and then go home and just sleep. So yeah. Yeah, man, 2019. I'm really curious how this year is going to go, man. I think that professionally it should be another decent year. I don't think that there's anything close that could make it be like, this may be the year where things fall apart for you or anything like that. Like, I think if last year was good, I think this year should be just as good, if not better. I don't see why not, at least. But either way, no matter what happens, I'm still going to, work hard and try to make this year the best it can be. And I want to make sure that I'm still able to hang out with my friends all the time and hang out with my friends every day whenever I can. I say it all the time, but like, my friends are just one of the main sources of like my sanity, dude. If I couldn't hang out with my friends, or I didn't see them as much as I do, I would lose my mind. It would be so bad. So I just want to make sure I still am able to spend time with them. And yeah, man, I that's pretty much it for my New Year's resolution. So just be happy, work on my anxiety a little bit, maintain that physical fitness, and try to eat a little bit better. I don't want to go like on a full diet, because I don't really care about like, going on keto or doing that type of shit. Like, as long as I can be like a little bit more aware of what I'm eating. I'm not eating Taco Bell every night. As long as I can, if I eat Taco Bell once a week, I'll be okay with that. Shit like that, So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about in this first episode of the podcast, guys. They're normally going to be anywhere from I would say 20 minutes to 40 around there. It might be longer if I have a guest because there's more things to talk about, but yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on today's podcast. The Koogs podcast is officially back. It should be available on iTunes and SoundCloud and everything. It should be on the YouTube channel. If you guys are already subscribed there, then I appreciate your sub and your ears. But yeah, so whatever day this goes live on, like I said, that'll probably be the day that I'll continue to upload these and continue to post these. So just keep your eyes out. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk to you about today. Hopefully in the next episode, I'll have a guest. If not, you'll just hear my dumbass voice. Probably hit a lisp a couple times in the episode. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. I really hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.